Is this the beginning of the end? Is it me, or is it getting cold? You can try all you want, but you'll never find me. Stop it right there. This is just another one of your bullshit lazy intros where you just use the song titles to string together some form of introduction. What of it, you savage? Well, it's lazy. You've put no thought into it. There's absolutely no effort gone into this whatsoever. Try and make me stop then, you inbred dipshit. I'm you fucking... Unhang me, you savage! Yield! Yield! Rhubarb! Rhubarb! Cornerback with the nothing. That was weird, wasn't it? Right then, so after that odd introduction, welcome back. Before I get into this Tiswas, if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe, why not like, why not comment, why not share, why not press that bell notification thing that does the notifications and that. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So Korn are back with The Nothing, and this is their follow-up to 2016's The Serenity of Suffering, and this will be their 13th album, also released on the 13th of September, which is a Friday the 13th. Coincidence? Probably not. Now, it's safe to say that Korn have gone through many changes over the years with their musical styles. Have experimented with a lot of different things, but regardless of which direction they've taken over the years, I think there's one thing that has remained absolutely constant, and that is frontman Jonathan Davis. He's always worn his heart on his sleeve, and he puts everything into the performance. Truly, he never dials it in, and in my opinion, it's why he's absolutely one of the most engaging frontmen in this particular genre. Any genre, actually. Last year, he lost his wife Devon to a drug overdose. I think it's safe to say, since then, I think we all kind of anticipated that this was going to be a darker album, of which it is. As for the concept behind the album, if indeed there is one, Jonathan David had this to say to Kerrang! Magazine recently. I was struggling with the things that's chasing me, that's always fucking with me. I tried to give it a name and it just fit. I know it's from The Never-Ending Story. The nothing was coming to destroy the fairy tale land with Atreyu. I loved that movie, but it was somewhere in between. The nothing's not necessarily evil. It's a mixture, and I'm all about balance. In my house, I've got crosses of Jesus everywhere and Baphomets. I'm in the middle. I'm Switzerland. Is that racist? I always thought there are two things I know for sure in the universe. There's a positive and a negative. It seems like the powers that be were keeping me from making the record. I sound crazy when I talk about it, but one thing after another would happen. My mics would break, stuff at the studio would break, things would happen at home. Whatever it was keeping me from doing what I was doing. It's always been the case with me. Korn also recently announced, on the video for their latest single Can You Hear Me, an accompanying podcast to go along with the album. Strangely enough titled The Nothing. And that was created by Adam Mason and Simon Boyes along with the band. It has not actually been released yet, but I think it's going to be coming out anytime soon, so be interested to hear that. It tells the story of journalist Matt Singer, who travels to the small town of Weldon, Kansas to investigate the mysterious disappearance of a teenage girl. He soon discovers not everything is as it seems in the rural community and finds himself heading into the heart of darkness. Can't you just do something nice every now and then, Korn? I think that's enough fudge for now. Let's review. First up we have The End Begins, and this one starts out with the most metal of all the wind instruments, the bagpipes. Technically it's called a woodwind instrument, but go on. Before Ray Luzier joins in on drums, shortly followed by Fieldy with that unmistakable bass. Jonathan Davis hushly utters, "Why did you leave me? Now they are free, and they are coming after me." The song ends with Jonathan breaking down into tears, and you're immediately reminded of Daddy from the first album. Dark, dark territory. The next two songs, Cold and You'll Never Find Me, I've already done separate videos for, so if you think I'm going to go over those again, you can fuck firmly off. Are you allowed to speak to subscribers like that? Next up we have The Darkness is Revealing. This song is packed full of Korn tropes. Sounds painful. A slow fade before a heavy down-tuned riff erupts, with plenty of discordant riffage and effect-heavy squeals. The chorus sections on this one reminded me very much of their Issues era, with pummeling bass and tom-heavy percussion. Is Tom known for his heavy percussion? No, the Tom's on the drum kit. So Tom's playing the drum kit. Yeah. The chorus goes thusly. What is this I'm feeling? Is it a new beginning? Am I purging past regrets, facing the hurt I'm dealing? How does one start healing? The darkness is revealing. Title of the song. The bittersweet reality that this is the help I'm needing. We get a pretty typical, at least for Korn, bridge section. Bridge section. And there was a second bridge section as well, which was as heavy as a modest-sized bag of fudge. Feel me, heal me, all that's in me. Give it all back. I can't have this. Feeling, failing, all that's creating. Next up we have Idiosyncrasy. Starts out with a descending, ascending riff. Actually it ascends before descending. That is both disturbing and pleasing to the ear. Ascending, descending, disturbing, pleasing. The juxtaposition on this track is off the chain. The verse section sounds like something that could have easily come off of Black Labyrinth, Jonathan's solo album. I reviewed that one, link in description. Whereas the pre-chorus is as heavy as a pre-chorus on this song. And at one point Jonathan brings out his big boy voice, almost going into a death metal bark. Don't do it! Don't give in! Won't you ever get it? The chorus once again sounds like something that could have come from his solo album, while the bridge section starts off with a bass line that kind of reminded me of Ball Tongue from the self-titled debut. Before the descending, ascending, ascending, descending, riff comes back with the addition of some discordant squeals from Monkey and Head. This part of the song has some real old school Korn vibes to it, with Jonathan repeating, "God is making fun of me, he's laughing up there, I can see," building in intensity before returning to the chorus for a final time. And the descending, ascending riff. Ascending, I really enjoyed this one. Next up we have the Seduction of Indulgence. At only 1 minute and 43 seconds, this one still packs a punch. Musically, the instruments and whatnot. We get some tribal sounding drums while the bass and guitars remains lower in the mix. While lyrically, being the words and such, creates a sinister vibe with lines such as, "I'm taking a huge risk crossing this line," or "They say the torture is divine." But it's the back half of the track that really evokes some disturbing imagery, with Jonathan repeating, "Skinning me, stabbing me, touching me, licking me, raping me." Pretty grim stuff. Next up we have Finally Free. Starts out with some volume-swelled guitars, before the rest of the band kicks in. The opening lyrics go thusly. "It's hard to see what you will find when your heart is dipped in agony. I tried too hard, I was too kind, I saw your face in everything." I have to say I wasn't so taken with this song on first listen. It didn't really grab me until the heavy bridge section kicks in. Then it returned to the chorus, and for some reason the chorus made a lot more sense to me after hearing that. I don't know why. So you didn't mind it then? Not bad, but not great either. Are you ever happy? What can I say? I'm a complex guy, though admittedly one that's completely uninteresting. Next track is Can You Hear Me? And I personally thought this was one of the better songs on the album. I really enjoyed this one. I know that there's a lot of people out there who didn't like this song, but God, that went on. The chorus on this one immediately reminded me of some of his work on Black Labyrinth. Link for my album review in description, which made perfect sense because apparently this actually was one of Jonathan Davis's solo tracks that they ended up using on this album. There's actually a video of Jonathan recording a version of this on YouTube back in 2015. Link in description, also with my album review of Black Labyrinth in description. Can you hear me? 'Cause I'm lost and I may never come back again. And while my heart keeps holding on, I know I'll never be the same again. Yeah, I really enjoyed this song, and to be honest, it made me realise just how much I really did enjoy his solo album. Link of album review in description. Next up we have The Ringmaster. Sounds dodgy. This one kicks off right away with a heavy and simple riff that is made for bopping one's head. Jonathan joins in with a multi-track vocal that has a real sinister edge to it. "Hey you, yeah, I'm talking to you. And what are you doing here? And why you look so sad, man? Brother, please come here. Let's talk it, let it out. Dear, you have nothing to fear. Child, I'm the one that makes it oh so much better." The chorus is a pretty standard affair for a Korn song, but we get some beatboxing on the bridge section before Jonathan exclaims, "You ever heard that voice in your motherfucking head? It goes, looking at you, poking at you, yelling at you, fucking with you." I wasn't so bothered with the chorus on this one, but there were some cool moments in this song. Next up we have Gravity of Discomfort. Very old school sounding Korn intro on this one with that real heavy down-tuned riffage and hip-hop tinge rhythms. The verse sections are somewhat typical, but I particularly enjoyed the chorus on this one. I know that Faith No More are a huge influence on the band, and I could almost imagine Mike Patton singing on this. He's got an album coming out this weekend as well, doesn't he? Wonder if there'll be any reviews out about that. I might do, I might not. Get off my back. Hate dominates everything I got on my plate. Feel the weight of my pain crushing my heart, it's sure to break. I know it really wants to hurt me for sure. I know it's setting me up, it's very mature. There was a heavy as fudge bridge section, and the outro reminded me a lot of Here to Stay. Not so keen on the verses in this one, but again there was still a lot to enjoy in this song. Next up we have Harder. This song had a lot going on in it. Starts off with a faded in intro that has a nursery rhyme quality to it, before a heavy riff kicks in. The pre-chorus had this great build to it. They are in my head now, exposed they tear my joy out. Their shadows start to cast out. Inside I start to lash out. The chorus was okay, but after that build-up I was kind of expecting something a bit more explosive. Not bad though, and on top of that we get not one, not two, but 3 bridge sections. With these bridge sections you are really spoiling us. I think a special mention has to go to Ray Luzier for his drum work on this track. There was some improvisational jazz-style drumming along with some almost drum and bass infused drumming. And he did some admirable blast beats on the outro. Very good song, this one. Penultimate song on the album, This Loss. There were a lot of traditional Korn elements in this song, but for me it was the bridge section that was a particular highlight. Not just on the song, the album. The instrumentation, for want of a better word, was very pretty. That's 2 words. And as ridiculous as it might sound, I could almost imagine Freddie Mercury singing this part. Yes, it's plain to see. Been holding on too long to this tragedy, and it's time to be free. To understand what this path's laid out for me. I'm on a path now. This path leads the same way it always does. I did mention in my review of Cold that Jonathan said that there were elements on this album where he was going to go full Queen and ELO. But I guess you didn't watch that review, did you son of a bitch? He insulted him again. There was another line in this bridge section as well that really stood out to me. Happiness is a club I'll never be in. I think it's fair to say that Jonathan is a tortured artist, and most probably always will be. This song was definitely one of my favourites from the album, highly recommended. Which leaves us with the final track, Surrender to Failure. The instrumentation on this song is much more stripped back, with Eastern flavoured percussion and ambient keyboards. But it's once again the lyrics that steal the show for the final time. These ones feel like the most obvious reference to the loss of his wife. I'm just going to read these out in their entirety, I think, so if you don't want to hear them, then skip to some other part of the video. Lost alone here in the dark, looking for answers I will never find. God knew all along that he would take you, and the demons were set loose to claim their prize. I am their prize. Everywhere I turn I can't escape you, did everything I could to hide. For every good thing I've done there's a price to pay, and that price has left me horrified. God, I tried. Now I'm the one who never chose this. Now I'm the one who walked a narrow line. I would do anything to bring you back to me, if only God would let me turn back time. I failed. As I said at the beginning, regardless of what direction Korn have gone throughout their career, you can always rely on Jonathan Davis to give you absolutely heartfelt lyrics that come from the heart. So, what of a score? I'm a little torn on this one. I wanted to say 8 out of 10, but I got a feeling I might be being a bit too generous with that. I don't know, maybe 7.5 I think would be more like it. There was a lot of great stuff on here. There was a lot of heavy riffage. This was definitely a more old school sounding Korn. Definitely a heavy Korn. Heavy Korn? This for me was kind of a good melding of everything they've put together over the years, to be honest with you. There were a lot of the elements of the heavy side of the band that we all know and love, but mixed in with a lot of the experimentation that they've done over the years. There were definitely a lot of elements of this as well that seem to have been inspired by Jonathan Davis's solo work. But overall I have to say that I really did enjoy the album. In the build up to this album I was listening to a lot of their back catalogue, but particularly the debut. And it's kind of crazy to think how absolutely groundbreaking that album was when it came out all those years ago. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off that they aren't the same band anymore, but I think that's a good thing. You don't want a band to constantly repeat themselves. It's over 25 years ago, that album. The band have moved on, we all have. To be honest with you, this is the first Korn album that I've listened all the way through to for quite a few years, and yeah, I was very impressed. There was a lot to enjoy on here. Still unmistakably Korn. How many times can I repeat the fact that it sounds heavy, but it's got that experimentation bit with it? I wrote this down. There's enough heavy stuff here to satisfy the old school fans while still exploring new territory that is fresh and invigorating. Should have just said that. The band sounded great. I loved a lot of the instrumentation. Jonathan Davis stole the show with his lyrics and his vocals. That's it. And I've changed my mind. It's an 8 out of 10. I'll be back soon with a review of Chelsea Wolfe's album Birth of Violence. See you then.